Hi, I'm Bob Vila. Welcome home again. Well, the job isn't quite done, but like millions of Americans who remodel their own homes, the Vilas are moving in. We've got the first load right here. We've got lots to talk about today. The interior designers are here, and they're showing some of their ideas for colors, fabrics, and wallpapers. Also, we've got Ryley and we've got Danny working out front on one of the most essential features to any remodeling job, new front steps and a railing around the front porch. And most exciting, I'm starting to move into my basement workshop. Stick around. It's good to have you home again.
Bob Vila's home again.
Let's get started meeting Suzanne Tongor and Christine Lane, our interior designers from CLC here in Boston.
Hi, Bob.
Ladies, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm happy to see you. This is the first time you've actually been here with me in front of the camera, but you've been working behind the scenes for months, right?
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely. And you know, that's really important that we start early in the process because all the product, from the fabric to the furniture to the window treatment, really has a long lead time. So it's important that we start early on.
But Christine, the role of the interior designer isn't just ordering stuff, right?
Right. Typically what we do is we start with a floor plan, which you can see here, and then you have a lot of gorgeous rugs that you've collected in antique furniture. So what we've done was we've plugged in your existing furniture along with some new pieces.
Yeah, when you're working with somebody as old as I am, we already have a bunch of stuff in the background and we're coming from another house, so you've helped us inventory what we have and figure out what to use and what to replace.
Right.
Yeah. So we're in our dining room here, and you've laid out the furniture placement in terms of a rug that we've had forever, and it's a small dining room, so there's really only room for the rug, a table, and some chairs, and of course we have our built-in hutch. But let's talk a little bit about the colors and things you've chosen for the dining room.
Well, the starting point was your beautiful area rug, and then from there we went on to this William Morris wallpaper, which is very typical of this style and period of house.
Late 1880s and 90s, right?
Right.
And William Morris was this fantastic Englishman who created unbelievable designs. Tell me a little bit about how this paper's made.
It's an arts and craft paper, and it's done with hand blocks out of pearwood blocks, and it has 8 different colors, and every day a different color is put on, so it's really an 8-day process.
So this is still done in the exact same way that it was done in the 19th century.
Right, exactly.
That's right. And also, it's because of that, it tends to be a little bit expensive. So what we recommend, Bob, is to have it above the chair rail and use a paint color below.
And so you chose this color here, this blue, which is in the paper.
Yes, that's
and
right.
And what you've done, well, we can see right behind you here, Christine, what you've done is spec'd the paint below the dado, the chair rail,
Right.
and then the expensive paper on the wall.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
right.
glad we have large windows too. What about this table that you've got in a picture here?
Well, you haven't selected a dining room table, but this is what we would recommend. This is a neoclassical Biedermeier style table, and the scale of it is nice. This dining room is more of a cozy scale, and this table will allow you to expand it with leaves so that for larger dinner parties you can accommodate all the seating. And a Biedermeier style chair would look very handsome with it.
And you've chosen fabrics. This is really neat. Tell us a little bit about that.
This is a glazed chintz fabric, and it has an Asian motif on it, which is very handsome.
Yeah.
And the color also picks up the color of the berry in the William Morris wall covering.
Right. Subtle little things like that that really key a room and help bring it together.
Really pulls it together so that the concept is nice and tight.
Okay. Well, looking back at the floor plan, you've taken advantage of, as we said a minute ago, rugs that I've got. My wife and I
Over the
found
years.
this rug actually on a trip a few years ago around Greece.
That's
and
right.
you're going to put that in the front hall. And
Right.
this one we've had forever, and you're going to put that in the living room,
In the living
right?
room, yes.
Okay. And the paper that you've chosen for the front hall is interesting because it's a William Morris, right?
That's right. And this is what they call his chrysanthemum pattern. And you can see it's a beautiful leafy pattern, very typical of the style.
And the important thing here is to make sure that you have light woodwork when you're using a paper like this.
That's right, Bob,
And-
because it really makes a nice contrast and it keeps it very fresh palette in the space.
But I love the stain color that we chose for the floor.
Oh, yes,
Here we've
very
got a detail
handsome.
that's put in. But when you have that red against the floor and it's done, it's going to be gorgeous.
It's very rich.
Let's take a look in the library.
Okay, great.
Now in this room, obviously we've got the proportions from the original house, which are not a square, but rather a cut-off corner with a fireplace. And then we've got our architectural renovation, which includes some details like this beautiful library wall that we're just finishing up, and the new floor that we installed, which is essentially an oak herringbone. And tell us a little bit about what your job was here.
Well, what we wanted to create in this room is a very warm, cozy room, so you'd feel very comfortable in a snowstorm in the middle of the winter. So what we did is we took this mahogany and put a red mahogany stain on it to make it very rich and enticing. And then for the floor, we did the same thing. We put the red mahogany stain, which is a slightly lighter color than the red mahogany.
Yeah, and of course the mahogany carries around the whole room with the cornice molding. The walls have just gotten a coat of this red paint. What happens next?
Well, what we're suggesting is doing a parchment finish or a strié finish, so it has a kind of Pompeii-ish red look.
So that involves ragging or glazing or what?
It involves glazing, so it brings, and we layer the colors so it becomes very rich.
It's going to be a special paint job, yeah.
Right.
And then you've chosen some fabrics as well.
That's right. This is also very beautiful. It's a moire damask, and we'll be putting this on the 2 upholstered chairs that will be on the angle coming off of the fireplace, which will create a really nice seating area for those cold winters, fire, 2 chairs and an ottoman.
And the only thing I had that I definitely was bringing was a big library table.
That's right.
Which will be my work table when I'm here.
That's right.
Good. I can't wait for it all to come together.
Yeah, it's going to be
It'll look
great.
really
Thanks for your
wonderful.
help. Yeah.
Thank you.
We've got a break for messages. Don't go away. The kitchen stairs in New England houses usually lead to the basement where they kept the coal and the dust and a mess, but having redone this house totally, we've taken advantage of the basement space. We're really making the most of it. This area back in here will be our exercise room, and we've already got a floor in place. They've just finished this Pergo laminated flooring, which looks very similar to the kitchen floor, which is genuine maple. This is a laminated product that really wears well. But right now, let's go into my workshop. You know, one thing that's very important when you're in the woodworking shop is to stay alert. And with that in mind, my architect Gregory Rockland specified a floor product that is almost hazard yellow, as they call it. It'll definitely keep you awake. Hey guys, hi Anthony.
Hi Bob.
Greg, how's it going? This is
Fine. This is your old workbench with a new base.
Exactly, a nice
that Anthony just built.
Stable new base, and that goes right in here.
Right in here.
Good. Well, we'll talk in a minute about the layout of the workshop, but first let's talk about this floor. How do you like this product?
Oh, I love this product. They've been marvelous to work with. I sent them a CAD drawing of this saw blade, which then they cut into the floor. It's just remarkable what these people can do.
It is amazing. So we've got all of this field of diamonds in yellow and metallic silver, and then a dark gray saw blade. And it was fun to watch them do. And of course, we have some flashbacks to show you. First, with David Altman, who installed the Pergo flooring in the exercise room. We're here in the exercise room below the kitchen where we're installing Pergo, which looks just like the maple floor I've got up in the kitchen, but it's not. Dave, what is Pergo?
Pergo is a high-pressure melamine laminate floor, which has all the beauty of a real wood-looking floor with much more durability.
So that's its main advantage. It's a more durable product than a regular wood floor?
Absolutely, and it's easy to install.
Yeah, it is a real do-it-yourselfer product. It doesn't involve nails or fasteners at all, right?
Exactly. All you do is fill up the groove with Pergo glue and tap it together.
And it floats on top of either, in this case, a concrete slab or a plywood deck or even an existing wooden floor?
Absolutely. You can put it over just about any type of substrate.
What have you got on top of our concrete here?
Okay, what we've done here, since you have a nice flat, level concrete subfloor, we have to use an 8mm Pergo polyethylene film to act as a vapor barrier.
Okay,
because all
so
concrete gives off vapor emissions.
Exactly, so that we won't have any kind of damp coming in that could cause it to lift up. But what's this other product that you've got underneath it?
This is a special engineered cellulose type of a paper, compressed paper underlayment that we have
Developed just for this?
Yes, just for this.
So that this would give you a bit of a cushion, right?
Yes, gives you a good comfort, comfortable floor to walk on.
Right.
It gives you better sound ending
What's
qualities.
the price point?
Pergo retails for approximately $4 per square foot.
And it has quite a warranty, right?
Absolutely.
I'm just going to put it to the test. This is indelible marker.
It's no problem. All you need is a little bit of acetone or a little bit of fingernail polish remover.
And it'll come right off?
Takes it right up.
Oh boy.
Just a
little bit more acetone.
little bit more acetone.
You're out of the woods. Terrific. Thanks, Dave. Now let's go to the workshop and we'll look at a different type of flooring. Well, we've got Richard Wilton from Amtico Flooring. How are you, Richard?
Hi, good, Bob.
And Doug Sprague from Harry's Installation Services from Quincy, Mass. And boy, what a floor I've got here. What kind of product is the Amtico floor?
Amtico is a pure vinyl product, which means it will not shrink, crack, or curl, and is fully flexible.
So it's 100% vinyl.
Yes, it is.
Good product to use in a workshop from the durability perspective, and also, I guess, from the installation. But what I love is the versatility of design. How many colors do you guys make?
We manufacture over 160 different colors as the standard range.
And this particular design, which our architect came up with, is basically a blow-up of a big power saw blade that's being transferred right down here onto the floor. Now, how did he do that?
He actually drew the design on his disc and sent his computer disc down to our cutting room in Atlanta.
Through a CAD program, right?
That's right. So we produce the CAD, and then the CAD program that we produce is then automatically put into the cutting room.
Fabulous. Now, Doug, what are you involved in doing right now? Is this just
This is a dry run, Bob. I'm laying these out just to see that everything fits where it should in the room, and then we'll adhere it and put it in permanently for you.
Okay. And what kind of an adhesive will you be using?
It's an acrylic-based adhesive. The tile goes into it wet and gets rolled with a 100-pound roller, and it's a very, very strong adhesive.
Fabulous. Gee, what part of the equation do we have here? What's this supposed to be?
That's your arbor for the center of the saw.
How perfect. Well, I can't wait to get it all finished. Well, it's really turning into a beautiful shop. And this, of course, is one of my favorites, this 10-inch, which is so versatile you can move it out of the way. Let's talk about your layout, your design for the space. How big is the space?
Space is about 15 by 30, which is a good size space for a home workshop.
Generous. And the only thing you had to deal with was over here, right?
Right. Well, this masonry mass of chimney support and column.
A natural division of the space. So how did you proceed?
Well, we divided into two areas. We've got a metalworking area over here where you can repair your lawnmower or your bicycle or something like that. And
so
all your wrenches and screwdrivers will be stored here.
Exactly. And my big rolling toolbox will go in the corner eventually.
Right.
And then in the middle of the space, we got the radial arm saw, which is a very versatile tool and should always be kind of in the middle of the space so that you maximize how much room you have for the boards, for the board length. And then on the other half of the space, what's the logic here, Greg?
Well, on the other half of the space is where you work at your bench. And this is a woodworking bench where you can put together the projects you're doing. All your edge tools will be stored over here, planes, chisels, and then underneath we've got all your Sears hand tools laid out. And so everything's readily at hand.
And what I love is the contrast between these floors and just having plain wood and plywood, no paint, no stain. We'll have plenty of room to put hooks and nails and hang things. And we've even got a nice cleanup sink right in the corner. But now we have to break for some messages. When we come back, we'll get together with Bob Ryley. We're building some front steps. Don't go away. Well, let's check in with Ryley now and talk about our front steps. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob.
So we have a rather elaborate set of front steps that we're building. How wide will they be?
They're going to be the same as the walkway coming in, which is 5 feet. And we're going to be using 6 stringers in here. The reason being, on either side we have a post, which is going to be sandwiched in between a couple of stringers.
Yeah.
And then we're going to cut the span in the middle with 2 more.
We'll get to that a little bit later, but that's a good way of supporting the post for the railings.
Right.
The railing system in the existing porch, what we had here, the 1897 railings are very pretty and graceful and all that, but they only come up to about mid-thigh. They're about 24 inches. And in order to meet code, we've got to replace them. And we found something. These are $2 a piece at the home center, and so I think we're going to make out all right.
Yeah,
we'll get to work on that a little bit later, but they will surround the porch as well as going down.
Right.
How did you determine your stringer? You've got all your stringers cut out here. What's the height?
Right. The height, well, what we've done is we just level across from the finished deck to the finish walkway down here.
Yeah, so you got finish to finish.
Finish to finish, that's right.
And use a level to get an exact measurement.
That's right. And what we've got is exactly 39 inches.
Okay. And then what does that mean in terms of your cuts?
Well, we wanted to have a shallow step, so we're going to use 6 rises. at 6.5 inches apiece brings us right to 39 inches.
Yeah, 39 divided by 6, so we got 6.5-inch risers.
Right.
That is very comfortable.
Right, and 12-inch treads, so this
Yeah.
would be a nice, comfortable walk.
Yeah. What did I just interrupt? What are you?
Well, I'm just ready to cut out my last mortise here to receive the stringers.
Great. All right, now putting all these consecutive cuts in like this obviously is the quick and easy way to put these notches in the lumber, but it is something that if you're a do-it-yourselfer, you should practice first on the horizontal plane and get real comfortable with that saw.
You really have to be handy with the circular,
that's good.
but it's a good way of plowing things out.
And a good sharp chisel.
Whoops.
Boy, that's good-looking lumber. That's a 100-year-old piece of timber, and it's probably a good I'd say it's a 6x8.
It is a 6x8. It is nice, yes.
Beautiful, I can smell it. Okay, now we're ready to bring that up?
Yes, we are.
And we're putting the last nail in the top riser. And the risers, of course, are giving stability to these stringers, which we've attached up there. And now we're ready to start figuring out about the skirt board.
Right.
And you got a tricky way of marking it off.
Right, well, it's been around for a while. I want to attach this first so that it's secure. And we just use this fork.
Yeah, this is simply a piece of stock that he's taken and he's cut out a 3/4 inch slot in and show us how it's going to transfer that line for
I'm
you.
just going to take the plane of the riser and put it on the outside of my skirt.
It's a quick way to get that line.
Right, and then we're going to go through that with the circular saw at 45.
Exactly.
Okay, now the only other thing I need is the level line coming across where the tread's going to be.
Look good?
That's good right there.
All right, now we'll take it over to the bench and put all these cuts into place.
Okay.
All right, it's already set at the 45-degree angle.
Right.
Because it's a miter cut.
Okay, now we'll reset the saw to 90 degrees.
And get all our straight cuts for the treads.
Right.
Looks real nice up here.
Yeah, that came out good.
Yeah, that's a great tip because you get all your cuts marked off there and it's nice.
Yeah.
Now,
So
are you going to nail it on now?
not yet. I've got the other side to do, and then we want to prime these first. Then
Okay,
we're
and
on to the treads.
Then we'll get on the treads. All right, because these are the approach to the house and the first thing that people see, we're taking special care. We're using redwood, which will weather really beautifully here, but we've also put in a picture frame around each step, and then we're inserting the redwood 1x4s. And I should add that we're using stainless steel nails because they really won't bleed or corrode with the redwood. That's going to look terrific, Ryley. We got a break for messages. Don't go away. Well, we're running out of time. Come home again next week. The kitchen appliances are all in place, and we'll go up on the 3rd floor to look at the complete media center with some incredible sound, surround sound by Bose. Don't miss it. Till then, I'm Bob Vila. It's good to have you home again.